Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming back. This is Will. I am a political economist. I am not a financial planner. I'm not a certified planner in general. I'm just a gentleman or a guy on YouTube. I'm just sharing my experiences with you and my use of a line of credit, also known as a HELOC. I started also with a credit card and worked my way up. So in the previous video, one of the things that I just really wanted to reiterate is that my income in California is the third most expensive state from Hawaii, California, and New York has dropped by $42.32, I think, from the previous video, but I'm still doing velocity banking and continuing to show you my experience. Sometimes we experience a decrease in our income. Sometimes things come up and we have to pay for additional services or emergencies in general. The decrease in my salary wasn't an emergency, it just happened. So, and going forward, my net income that I'm bringing home monthly from biweekly checks, $3,347.54. Some of the other dollars that I have that I can put inside this HELOC, in terms of bringing down the principal, $2,075. My expenses are roughly about $4,500 a month, and that generally leaves me with a cash flow of about $953 a month. Cash flow is what I have left over after paid all the bills. So in looking at, again, the bi-weekly paycheck that I give net at the expenses, plus that $2,075 in other dollars that can flow inside, that's about $5,422.54 that I'm able to put into the HELOC to bring down the principal or to impact the average daily balance. That entire $5,422.54 does not go in all at once. So it's going in and coming out different times throughout the month to affect the HELOC balance. But that's the great thing about a HELOC, or one of the advantages of a HELOC over an amortized loan that I replace with this HELOC. So in box two, you see that total. Now in box three, we're going to look at my home equity line of credit, or line of credit that I have for the month of September, which was my statement. So according to the statement, the previous balance in July was $46,497.49. I put in $4,352.10. Normally, as I stated, 4,000, if we look back in box two, $5,422.54 is what I normally put in. So for that particular month, not everything went into it. So let's see what was left out. Normally 54.22, 54, and according to the HELOC, I put in 43.52.10, 40, 43.54.10, 54.22, 54 minus 43.52.10. So $1,070 did not make it into the HELOC for that particular month. So $1,070.44 did not make it into the HELOC. And I think that may have been my rent or some other expenses that I had to pay for. So now going back to the statement again. So I paid in 43.52 and I made withdrawals of 59.10. So I withdrew more than I normally put in. So that's one of the things with the HELOC. It's flexible. It allows you to go in and out up to a certain period. This HELOC that I have is an investor HELOC on one of my properties. I live in an apartment, but I have three properties in general. So on one of my properties, I placed a HELOC on to the property and paying through that. So that is a difference. So I drew more than what I put in, but I normally try to put in 54, 22, 10. The AP, the finance charge for that particular month in August was $395.43. Now, earlier, when I first started, my first interest only payment for the HELOC was $438. That was on 38 days. I'm sorry, 31 days at $14.14 per day. So you can see the interest is coming down as the principal comes down. And every day that I put something in, it changes. So with the HELOC, I can go online and say, hey, put $10 in for a checking account. The lowest I've been able to put in the HELOC was $5. So any day, I mean, any time of day, I can go in and make at least one transfer on any amount so far that I've seen as $5 to bring down that principal and affect the daily charge onto the HELOC. Now, after one transfer or payment into the HELOC, I then will have to call according to the rules and regulations to make any changes. I mean, to make any additional payments. So the APR on this HELOC that I have is 10.25, and maybe it's going to fall with the falling interest rates. The average daily balance, according to the statement, was $47,061.53. So they ran all the dates, saw what my average daily balance. If I put 5 in, I took 5 out, put 20 in, took 20 out. The average daily balance of those 30 days was about $47,000, 61.43. The daily periodic rate, I'm looking more into that to see how I affect that. The number of days in July for the statement was 30 days. And so far in getting the HELOC, since April of the 11th, 2024, I paid $2,444.47 up to September the 7th in interest. All right, so just to recap, this is part 2. My income has decreased about $42 per month going forward. My expenses are about $4,500. The total amount that I'm trying to put in monthly between my net income from my W-2 job and other sources of $2,075. So anytime I can get some money, I'm putting it into the HELOC to try to affect the HELOC. This was the last statement. We went over the previous balance, my draws, how much I put in, the finance charge, 395, the APR, and the number of days. So as I continue to work with this, continue to share my journey with a line of credit of $50,500. I started with credit cards. Those two are line of credits. So you can have a personal line of credit, a business line of credit, a home equity line of credit. This is what I'm using. I started this journey by looking into different types of lines of credit. I was able to get the $50,000 HELOC, and I was able to replace a 30-year mortgage with this $50,000 HELOC. So I have 2 more mortgages left, and my largest debt is my student loan, which is roughly about 160 now. So it's growing, but I have to start dealing with it once I get more of these more of the debt under control, which I have. I started off with 12 credit cards with balances of probably up to 50,000 in January of 2022. Now I'm down to 3 credit cards with balances of about $10,000 in September. So Thank you very much for stopping by. In general, if you have any questions or any other comments, please hit the like button, share with your family and friends. And if you'd like to work with me or my team so that we can help you in reducing your credit card debt, helping you to pay off your mortgage in possibly a couple of months versus years, because I actually use this HELOC to pay off my home within 1 month. All right. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Have a great day, everyone.